excited, so excited, so excited. We're gonna light this. We're setting the mood. We're setting the vibes up in here, bitches. Oh. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Next Level with your host, Jasmine. So, this week's episode is going to be diving into the essence of a little bit of story time, a little bit talking about, what are we talking about today, guys? I wrote it down just like I did this time, but did it in a notebook because I can get super scatterbrained. We are talking about story time, and then we're talking about the 2 things holding you back from your next level right now. I start off with this episode with story time, and it's actually pretty funny. And it ties into one of the essences that's holding you back from your next level right now. The other day, I was with my mama and we were out grocery shopping at Superstore. I have a little bit of giggle going on because I'm ridiculous and I love it. But we were out grocery shopping and I was in these sweatpants. Are we good? We're chill. I was in sweatpants and then I was in like my brother's like plaid jacket and I was rocking my slides, okay? I was looking fly. I was total fashion icon. And we were at Superstore, and here at Superstore they have like little plastic bags that you put like your fruits and vegetables in. So I grabbed one and I wanted to run in a little experiment, and I put it over my head. And I decided to walk around the produce section with my mom for about 5 minutes because I genuinely wanted to see if people would give me weird looks, if someone would say something, if someone would laugh at me. No one said anything. And after about 5 minutes, I turned to my mom and I'm like, no one's saying shit. Like, no one's saying anything. My mom's like, yeah, I know. And here she is laughing, giggling, thinking I'm super funny. And I'm like, I was kind of like disappointed in an essence because literally not one look, not one giggle, not one comment, not one rude comment. And in that moment, it really put into perspective for me how much we care about other people's fear of judgment of us. And in the end of the day, people really don't care as much as we think that they do. Yet we let that fear of judgment stop us from going after what we want to go after, stop us from showing up in our fullest expression, and stop us from shining so fucking bright because we're afraid of what the other person on the end of that line is gonna, we have a fear of how they're gonna receive us. So I ran that little, experiment for myself, and it really opened my eyes to be like, damn, I am the one who gets to decide how I want to show up, how I want to express myself, and what it is that I go after. And at the end of the day, there may be people who have something to say about me, but there also may not be anyone to say anything at all. And to let ourselves hone into the fact that it's up to us to care about our own judgment of self, far above what anyone else may or may not think of us. So now we can dive into the essence of 2 things that are holding you back, because number 1 is this essence of fear of judgment. How many of you listen to this podcast, watching this YouTube video, don't express yourself fully because you think other people are going to think that you're too much? And this can be in the form of expression, physically with how you dress, how you do your hair, how you do makeup. It can be in the way that you speak your truth or what your personality is. I know some people who don't even laugh fully, don't even give their full laugh because they're afraid of other people receiving their laugh and judging their laugh. Or some people won't do the hobbies that they really love because they're afraid of what people are going to judge them. Or coming into this whole entire essence of entrepreneurship and coaching, and I've experienced this myself, so many of us don't share our full personality online, not allowing ourselves to own the little weird, immature, not put together side, as well as owning the part of you that's super sophisticated. That was something I struggled with for a long time, was battling these 2 identities and being like, I gotta be this one in order for me to be liked, right? Do you guys resonate with that message? I have to show up this way in order to be liked. And we don't allow ourselves to show up in an authentic way because we have a fear of being judged. And I know so many of you resonate with this. And I wish I could see a show of hands for those of you listening to the podcast, because I know quite a few hands would be raised. And especially for anyone who has, experienced in the past, as a child, as a teenager, where you were actually judged and shamed for you showing up in a certain way. I know that that's playing a huge impact for you right now in your ability as an adult to show up in the ways that you want. Myself personally, having been someone who was bullied for so many years of her life, I carried the belief and the notion that being myself isn't safe, being myself isn't enough, I have to morph myself into something else. past. You know, I have to show up a certain way in order to be liked, and it's been a huge thing for me to work through coming into the online space because I am seen in so many capacities that I haven't been seen in before. So I just want you guys to keep this essence in mind, this fear of judgment, and really take an inventory check on how it is really dictating your life right now in this moment. What aren't you going after because you're afraid of what your mom's gonna say? What aren't you expressing within yourself because you're afraid of what your friends are gonna think? What aren't you adorning yourself with? And what aren't you allowing yourself to physically, you know, present yourself with to the world because you're afraid of what the online people are gonna say? You're afraid of what your coworkers are gonna say. You're afraid of what your clients or whoever may be on the other end of receiving are gonna say. And the thing is we do ourselves and we do the world such a disservice when we're constantly living in such a dimmed out version of ourselves, right? Ooh, that hit. We do ourselves and we do others a disservice when we're constantly living in a dimmed out version of ourselves. So when you're in this space and you have this desire to show up in a certain way, but then you decide to morph yourself and change to be okay for the other person receiving you, I want you to take a moment to pause and say, am I actually doing this for myself because this expression doesn't feel good to me, for me? Or am I doing this because I want to make sure the other person receiving me is going to be okay, that the other person receiving me can handle it, that the other person receiving me is okay with how I'm choosing how to motherfucking show up? And that's exactly why I ran that experiment for myself at the grocery store. And I decided to put the fucking plastic bag on my head because there's this part of me that is just weird and is just silly and likes to make people laugh. And if I constantly go throughout my whole entire life, never doing the stupid things or the silly things because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think of me, one, I'm stripping myself of joy, and two, I'm stripping the joy away from other people who are gonna receive it in a good way. There's always gonna be those motherfucking Karens in the world. There's always gonna be people who disapprove of you. But if you approve of yourself in this essence and you want to share it with the world, give yourself a permission to do so. Because it's through walking through that door and sharing that expression with the world that's going to open up so many more doors for you. That's going to open up freedom. That's going to open up fulfillment. That's going to open up happiness. That's going to open up acceptance within yourself, which are all things that you're craving and you're seeking from the outside world. But you're the person who has to give it to yourself first. So this essence of fear of judgment can come up in so many different areas of your life. It can come up, in how we portray ourselves in friendship. It can come up in not letting ourselves have fulfilling relationships because we're afraid certain parts of us are going to be judged. It can create tension in the workplace. It can stop you from going after your dream. You guys, I can list off so many things. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And you guys can feel it in your bones right now. Specific things in your life that are just not as magical as they can be because you're living too hard on fear of judgment. And I know this too, I'm not perfect. I still have fears of judgment and I'm doing things to help myself get over that and to prove to myself that I am not as judged and as ridiculed as I think I am. The person who's judging and ridiculing me the most is myself. And at the end of the day, when I get that outside ridicule, I don't have to take it as my own, right? Other people are always gonna have an opinion. And just because they have an opinion doesn't mean it needs to become a part of our truth. Doesn't mean it needs to become a part of how we choose to see ourselves and how we choose to represent ourselves. So keep that in mind too, because I know some of you who are watching this don't have the greatest relationship with your parents, don't have the greatest relationship with your friends, people don't fully understand you, people don't fully see you. But you gotta show up for yourself and you gotta show up for the people who want you in your fullest expression, and those people exist. But you're never gonna meet them, you're never gonna connect with them if you constantly keep living in this dimmed out version of yourself. So give yourself that permission. I'm giving you that permission. I'm letting you know, hey queen, shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like the sun, shine bright like my ring light that's not currently turned on but is holding up my phone. And let yourself do it over and over and over again, even though it's uncomfortable. Even though you will get backlash, it's gonna be worth it in the end because you're gonna allow yourself to live in alignment with who you're meant to be. You're capable of being who you desire to be. And that is a key, one of the keys of tapping into your next level. And one way in which today, honestly, specifically that I am working through fear of judgment is hosting this YouTube video. It doesn't matter so much for the podcast, y'all cuties can't see me, but for those who watch the YouTube video, hosting it in my living room, and my living room not being as clean of a background, right? Most people who put up YouTube videos have a backdrop, have something super clean, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I wanna host it, I wanna do this upstairs. I wanna be in the sunshiny lighting, be upstairs, I don't wanna be downstairs. I have like pee pads that have been peed on. And also, as for my hair today too, like today was supposed to be hair wash day, but I might be going out on Wednesday. I can't wash it today, I have to wash it tomorrow. So I don't have to wash my hair on Wednesday because I gotta be up early. But it's doing these little things and being like, if I accept this part of myself first, if I accept this part of my environment first and I own it, then if someone else wants to come in and bash me and make fun of me for it, it's already something about myself I know and accept. So that's another thing too. When you're moving through this essence of fear of judgment, start to accept and own these parts of yourself that are too much, these parts of yourself that want to take up space, the parts of yourself that are more expressive, that want to speak truth, that want to represent themselves in a certain way. When we own them first, we take power and authority over that. So when someone else wants to come in, you're like, I already know. Thank you for letting me know. You don't like it, that's cool. Keep walking along. Keep walking along. So keep that in mind too when you're working through this, all right? And the second thing holding you back right now from your next level is not doing enough things outside your comfort zone. I know you guys hear this time and time again. Get outside your comfort zone. Do the things outside your comfort zone. If you want to grow, do things outside your comfort zone. And I know you guys have heard that before. Maybe for some of you it's redundant. What does it really mean to get outside your comfort zone? And how can we get outside our comfort zone in a way, or really key thing down, in a way where you have systems in play to help the nervous system from entering a freeze or panic state? Most of us have a really hard time getting outside our comfort zone because our nervous system's panic. So many of you in my audience struggle with overwhelm, struggle with anxiety, struggle with overthinking. So no wonder you never allow yourself to go into a state of getting outside your comfort zone, because all that noise and that chaos is going on within you. So how can you set yourself up for success internally to allow yourself to have the success in going outside your comfort zone? Now, I'm not saying that just because you apply these mindset things and these tools and techniques that, okay, going outside your comfort zone is gonna give you everything that you want all in a bag, all at once. Getting outside your comfort zone takes practice, takes growth, takes learning. But if I can give you mindset shifts and I can give you some tangible tools that you can apply to yourself so you can get outside your comfort zone, I think it'll help you. And let me know, you guys, let me know, you guys, come talk to me, just speak to me right now. You even know where I was going with that one. But, oh God. My brain's farting. Let me look at my notes. Let's talk about how can we put systems in play that'll help us from panicking and freezing when it comes to going outside our comfort zone. So 2 of my most favorite ones, actually I'm gonna give you 3 of my most favorite ones that help me when I'm feeling really nervous, when I'm feeling like I don't believe in myself, when I'm feeling like I'm not hot shit. I do one of or all 3 of these things. Specifically for this video today, I did all 3 of them. Yes, I have recorded so many videos, done so many lives, done so many podcasts, been on so many other podcasts. Every single time I show up to be present, to deliver this wisdom, I get nervous, I question myself, and it's just like that little voice in the back of my head, and I show up anyways. And I practice and I apply these tools and these techniques, and then I'm able to come in from a grounded state, from an empowered state, and I'm able to serve. So let's dive into 3 techniques. So the first one, y'all know, for those of you who are new to my YouTube space, you guys don't know this as much about me as those of you who are on my Instagram or my Facebook fam, is dance. Dance is super, super essential for me and my healing journey and my empowerment journey, and something that I highly encourage with all my clients. Dance is one of the greatest tools for alchemy, the greatest tools for shadow alchemy, emotional alchemy. What I love the most about dance is this essence of getting you out of overthinking land, which is your head, and driving you back down into the body. Because if we can come into the body and we can feel the space of our body, it makes it a lot easier to move on to the next task, because we're not letting our mind race, and we're not letting it overtake us, and we're not letting it make us feel like we can't do shit, right? We know that feeling. We know that shit, right? We know that stuff. So I love to, before I hopped on this podcast, I danced it out, and I was doing it to some hardcore rave music. I was like, I was doing the thing. I was moving the music through, and then I checked into my body, and I was like, hey, do we still need more time to move this energy through, or are we done here? And it was like, no, okay, we need a little bit more time. So I stayed with it, let my body move how she wanted to move, how she wanted to alchemize that energy that was feeling stagnant, how she wanted to alchemize that doubtful energy, and I let it pour through. So dance for me always has been and always will be the #1 tool in my toolbox for moving shit through, but also grounding me and making me feel like I can, making me feel empowered, making me feel connected to my body. And then coming into some breath. I love breath. Anytime we can inhale and make our exhales longer, we begin to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the section of our nervous system that is responsible for rest and digest. Most of us are living in that sympathetic nervous system. Overthinking, stress, worry, doubt, anxiety. Your nervous system is on, it's releasing cortisol, you're freaking out, your nervous system's freaking out. So when we can do tools, and dance does this as well too, helping regulate the nervous system. When you can ground back in, you start to feel more peace. And you feel like you can go in, right? Like then when we calm the nervous system down and we create that type of peace within our body, then it's easier to go in with those mantras for empowerment, right? Because if you're like freaking out, having anxiety, oh my God, I'm calm, I'm peaceful, I'm great, I'm calm, I'm peaceful, I'm great, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but you're like freaking out in your body, those mantras don't work. Those affirmations don't do shit. But if we can take those few deep breaths, if we can do that dance, then we can go in, right? We can go in with those affirmations. Now I can be like, all right, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. Oh yes, I'm a bad bitch. I'm gonna serve today. I'm gonna serve today. I'm gonna show up powerful today. I'm gonna put my crown on and I'm gonna represent myself and all my magic. Right? We can come in with a different type of energy because we have grounded all that chaotic energy. Instead of being overtaken by the mind, we can start to take control of the mind and start to tell a story that's gonna empower us rather than disempower us. And the third one that I actually do pretty much during anytime I'm recording an episode, either solo or on someone else's podcast or whatever it may be, because I love to do a little self-soothing. So I'll either like rub my foot or I'll rub my thigh, or maybe I'll like play with my hands, feel my own hands. Doing self-soothing techniques where like I can just remain present to the sensation of my body and keep inside my body, or do deep breaths throughout. It keeps me feeling more grounded. And when I feel more grounded, I feel more empowered. So when you guys go to do things that are outside your comfort zone, do 1 or 3 of those things so you can start to mitigate or dilute that chaotic, frantic energy that's wanting you to run, that's wanting you to freeze, that's wanting you to panic for doing the very thing that's outside your comfort zone. Now, when you apply one of these or whatever of these techniques, and you still may feel nervous, but it may be a more grounded nervous. It may be a nervous that's like, okay, I can turn this into excitement, like I can do this. Yes, my heart's still racing, but I'm gonna focus on it being excitement that I can do this. Yeah, I can do this, I can do this. Right? It's a different kind of energy. And when you guys practice these tools and techniques over time, the switch from chaos to peace is gonna happen a lot quicker. The switch from, disempowered to empowered is gonna happen a lot quicker. So don't go into applying these practices right away with the expectation that it's going to solve all my problems and all my frantic energy. Go in with the intention to help relieve all the chaos that you're feeling, right? Because that's going to help you too. Because if you're like, I need this to go away, it's going to soothe me. Oh yeah, it's going to take it away. Oh yeah, and then that's all you're focused on and you're not actually allowing it to work. It may do the opposite of what you're expecting it to. So keep that in mind. Anytime you guys do a practice, go in with intention rather than expectation. I know it's easier said than done because your mind always is focused on expectation, especially when you struggle with anxiety. But go in with intention over expectation, okay? Intention over expectation. So what else did I want to talk about? And same thing is too, like when you guys do things that are outside your comfort zone, everyone thinks that you have to do big ass bold moves in order to tap into your next level, in order to experience growth and expansion. But the thing is, you guys, it's like little small things. You know, say for example, for you that are following me, say for example, you never show up on your Instagram on your stories. So now all of a sudden you're gonna show your face. Maybe it's not you speaking, but you're gonna like pose a little picture. I love social media, by the way, as a healing tool. It's something that I recommend to my clients, is using social media as a healing tool because it forces you to be seen in ways that are really uncomfortable. But, right, that's an example for getting outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's you going live is outside your comfort zone. Maybe posting a picture without you filtered is outside of your comfort zone. Maybe speaking with your mom or speaking with your dad or speaking with your family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your lover is or lovers, and having an open, honest conversation. Maybe that's outside your comfort zone. Maybe something that's outside your comfort zone is getting supported, reaching out for help, letting someone listen to you, being honest about your emotions, right? Like these are not huge things, you know. It's not saying that you have to all of a sudden, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna dye my hair red and wear like a Flaming Cheetos tank top. And I know some of those things that are small can feel really big and heavy for some of you, but when you apply these tools and these techniques, they won't feel so heavy and overwhelming. They won't feel so large. But the thing is to also keep in mind too, when we're doing things outside our comfort zone, at first it's gonna feel like, holy fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing? Am I crazy? Am I insane? And anytime we dive into something that's unfamiliar, right, this is another part I wanted to talk about. Your ego, your shadow, some part of you wants you to abandon, wants you, abort mission, right, starts to freak out because change is deemed unsafe to the subconscious mind, is deemed unsafe to ego, and is deemed unsafe, I don't know if it's deemed unsafe to shadow, but that shadow version of you is so used to being in a specific pattern and a specific way of coping that trying to drastically do something the opposite, it's like, oh, panic, my brain doesn't recognize this, panic. Keep that in mind too. Like, you are not broken, and I talked about this in the last podcast. You are not broken. You are simply just in a space of unlearning. You're simply in a space of choosing yourself rather than choosing your fear, rather than choosing your ego, rather than choosing your wounded truth. So give yourself the permission, you guys. Give yourself the permission to drop the fear of judgment, to work on self-acceptance first and own those parts of yourself that you're so worried about being judged, and to let yourself go outside your comfort zone, to shine so fucking bright, to do things that are uncomfortable, and allow yourself to quote unquote fail, right? So many of us don't do the whole outside the comfort zone thing too because we don't want to fail. I don't think there is such thing as failing. Like, I think the only real failure that we experience in life is when we give up. Because every time something doesn't work out or go accordingly to plan, it's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to do something different. It's an opportunity to learn, this doesn't work when it's going like this, or this doesn't feel good when I do this, or maybe my mindset was whack that day. But know that you can handle hard things. You can handle uncomfortable things. You can handle it all. You are more than equipped for making magic in this lifetime and for sharing yourself authentically with the world. You're not gonna allow yourself to get there if your nervous system is whack as shit, if your mindset is super shitty, and if the beliefs and the trauma and the pain that you're holding on to is something that you keep holding on to, right? In order for us to experience different, we have to do different. We have to think different. We have to believe different. We have to have different rituals, different practices. That's what's gonna allow you to tap into your next level. That's what's gonna allow you to go from point A to point B, the place that you wanna be. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. My fingers are wiggling. I'm gonna take a sip of my Starbucks to hydrate my throat. These are things, you know, and small steps lead to big results. Again, small steps lead to big results. So over time, every time you do one of these small little things outside your comfort zone, you work on your fear of judgment, they compound, baby. And you keep doing that over the course of a year, heck, over the course of a couple months, be a brand new person with a whole different reality. But if we keep acting, behaving, doing, being the same person, we're gonna keep getting the same results. Let that land for you. I know you guys have heard that before, but like, really let that land. If I keep thinking, feeling, behaving, habitually living the way that I have been, I'm going to continue living the same life. So give yourself that permission to start different, to do different, to go outside your comfort zone, to shine bright, to work on these fears, to let yourself get supported along the way. Like, let yourself experience the support that you need to tap into your next level. Okay, so I feel like that is all I have to say for this week's video, for this week's podcast. I'm trying to keep these a little bit short, but today was really good. I felt like it was a really, it wasn't so externally fiery as it was internally fiery. I felt very grounded and felt really good with this podcast to share with you beauties today. And yeah, so and as you guys know, if you guys need support on any of this on a deeper way, don't hesitate to reach out. Send me a DM, slide into my inbox. I have coaching available for one-on-one, and we do monthly packages, and they're all custom to you. All my coaching that I run is all customizable for you, unless it's something that I've created, like a program, like a self-guided thing or a group coaching program. Other than that, all my one-on-one coaching is specifically tailored to you to understand your specific history, your specific goals, and to meet you where you're at so we can tag along together side by side and take you to where it is that you want to go. All right, it's so important to make sure that we are being supported, whether that happens to be me, that happens to be a friend, that happens to be another mentor. You're not meant to do this alone, okay? You are meant to be supported and have your hand in your pocket. No, you're supposed to have people guide you along the way. Life is full of teachers, life is full of guides. Also, life is full of 7 billion fucking people. And if there was, we were supposed to do this shit all by ourselves, there'd only be one. But there's not. So let yourself get supported, all right? All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap shit up over here. I'm gonna have a little dance party. and I will see you guys next week. All right, so you guys have yourself a wonderful night, have yourself a wonderful week. Happy Monday, happy Monday. And as always, cheering you on, loving you from your corner, from this corner, from my corner. Your holistic life coach, Jasmine. Till next time.